Streaming live on WHITradio.org from High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey. It's Wake Up High Tech. I'm your announcer, Crazy Carlos, and now your host, Sam the Man.
All right. Good morning. This is Wake Up High Tech. I'm Sam the Man, Muhammad the Magnet, Ratchet Richard, Crazy Carlos. To lead off the show, we have Mo. And are you still talking about the bear, or?
No. I'm gonna do a little something about Pearl Harbor, but I wanted Chance to go first, and I'd transition out of what he's saying about Pearl Harbor. So go with Pearl Harbor.
All right. Well, I saw a story on the Washington Post. It's kind of a somber article. I
read that paper too.
It really puts in perspective, like, how much, getting old and aging kind of sucks. So this year, a lot of the survivors from Pearl Harbor, like it's obvious year by year the number would shrink. They're in their 90s now. They're not exactly going to live for another 20 years unless medicine becomes incredible in the next 5 years. But so the article was talking about how that group is shrinking more and more as years go by. Yep. And Fox News reported that this was going to be the last year, and even the group says they highly doubt they're probably going to come back as long as they can. But it really puts in perspective how long ago this was, but still, like, how in touch these veterans are with their past, and how they still, even in their 90s, which I wouldn't probably leave my house if I was 90, it'd still make this journey to Hawaii.
And still to this day, a lot of us love to learn about it. Like, at this point, I guess you could say we learned pretty much all we could about World War II, but we're still interested in learning more about it. Mm-hmm. It's that war for us. Like,
it's a war that had a direct impact on us. Without World War II, you don't have the space age, you don't have the Cold War, you don't have the whole.
And it had a purpose.
You don't have
it had a purpose. It wasn't like Vietnam.
You don't have the change in music that you do with the Summer of Love. I mean, you could definitely see that it's the one war that you can say is far enough where we could still learn about it and don't know too many people who've been in it, and there aren't too many survivors, so it's far enough where you still have to learn about it. It's not from, like, you lived through it or your parents lived through it. Yes, but it's close enough where it had a direct impact on your life.
It's a war of the world.
And again, today marks the anniversary of Pearl Harbor.
That was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Oh, fail.
Yesterday.
Yeah, epic
Mohammed
clearly didn't do his research. He was looking up bears.
I wanted to talk about something that I was going to, tell you guys right now.
Today's the anniversary of when we declared war in Japan.
Today's FDR's anniversary of his speech.
Yeah, yes. when he declared war, like Chad said.
And, he was a great president, but I'm not here to get into that. I'm here to get into...
He is a great president.
This, like, we all came together after Pearl Harbor. We all came together as a nation, and we fought in World War II. What I wanted to talk about with you guys was...
Did we fight in World War II? Are you absolutely sure about that?
Oh, almost positive.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. Don't quote me.
All right.
So, this is where I was going to say that we all come together as a nation, but we always throw a certain race under the bus and turn against them. And World War II was Japan.
Yes.
And it was not necessarily just for a war. Like, we had a time when it was just for blacks. After
in World War II, it was Japan and Germany and, Italians, but...
Not so much Italians as much as Japanese.
Well, because they left the war early, but, yes, obviously, Japanese, we put them in internment camps, but we also did discriminate against German people.
Let me just remind you, we didn't apologize to them until the 80s.
Yeah.
We did, and by that time, a lot of them were dead.
But, when you fight a war... and you have to create this common enemy. You have to fall. How can you,
how can
talk
you go
every
take
single?
People,
I understand it was a terrible thing.
Take their rights away.
Yes, it was a terrible thing. And oftentimes when you're at war, a lot of liberties go out the window, and it's sort of like, I don't know. It's a rough area because I feel like, if you don't put them in internment camps, do they experience the sort of racism and discrimination against that Arabic people are seeing right now? Do they sort of get that kind of same treatment by the public?
Like, after 9/11, it was
by taking them away from the public. Is it beneficiary to both groups, or is it hurting one group especially and only
In a way, I see where you're coming from, where you say it benefits both groups, but it's causing too much harm to one.
Yeah, it's causing way too much harm to one. But I think that. It's something that you need to...
For example, after 9/11, there's still some parts where Muslims, Arabs can't go. In this country, to this day, we're in 2014 going on 2015. We're talking about some places in Louisiana, some places in...
Alabama.
Yeah, I know.
Missouri.
It's insane. I think it was
They get rocks thrown at them, man.
I
Like
think I heard it was. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but Oklahoma banned Sharia law. Like they were in any threat of being overcome by Sharia law. So now to move on to a different, more lighter topic, we have Richie wearing a college football sweater. So I decided we would talk about college football. And since it
excuse
is-
me, I like to interrupt you. John Lennon died today,
Oh yes, he
Oh,
did.
Oh yeah, I know
Oh.
about that.
1980.
34 years ago.
Don't read Catcher in the Rye, kids.
Yeah,
34 years ago.
absolutely.
So now the College Football Selection Committee finally finalized the results. At number 1, we have the Crimson Tide.
Number 2, Oregon.
Number 2, Oregon. Number 3,
Florida State.
Florida State. And number 4, bumping
Ohio
TCU out, we have Ohio State.
Well, I don't think it was bumping
Ohio.
TCU out because TCU went 6. It was bumping Baylor out because Baylor would have got in. But I think the team that shouldn't have gone in, and it's funny that you're wearing a Miami football sweater, so I'm sure you'll agree with me that the Seminoles should not have been in. They
Oh, I
won
don't
all their
think they
games,
did.
and I know it's impressive that they won however many games in a row that they won. That is surely impressive. But the thing is, they were not impressive wins. I know people say, oh, they were wins anyway, but I mean, they just really
No.
were, they played a lot of weak teams and barely beat them. They beat Citadel 37-12. They should have dominated Citadel.
Well, yes, at
I
the same
mean-
time, it was still a 37-12 victory no matter what. You still have to give a testament to them for going undefeated this season.
They
It's
almost lost to Boston College.
almost lost to Boston College, but at the end of the day, they went undefeated. You have to. I mean, I think what this topic brings up is over the offseason, we have, like, at least a selection committee has to make somewhat of a rubric for what a team in the top 4 has to contain.
But I
Because
think
right now it's more of just like a who's better, we don't really know what to judge them off. We need to. You continue. Go.
no, continue.
We need to have something to go off of because
Yeah.
we don't know if we should do strength of schedule. We don't know if we should do wins. We don't know if we should do how impressive you looked on the field, like the eye test. We really don't know what to think. We don't know what the selection committee is doing themselves. So I think I think they need to publicly make their own rubric or something that gives us to go off. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Well, I think that it's up to them, and of course it is a subjective thing. It's depending on person to person who's going to like what team. But I think that what's going to come out of this for next year is that they will have a Big 12 championship. And I know that they don't have enough teams for it, but it just has to happen because that is the main reason, in my opinion, that neither of the teams went in. Because when both teams are co-champions, when there's not one champion, how are you going to let one team in and not the other? And it was too tough a decision which one to let in, so they let in Florida State. Because they are the ACC champions, but I mean, still, what does that say? The ACC championship is not a very.
So who would
the
you put in?
ACC
Who would you put in instead of Florida State?
It's tough because I do like the way TCU played, and I think that they lost to Baylor, but they lost a while ago.
I think
but,
is,
I mean,
I just feel like you have to respect that win over TCU. To
you
Baylor.
have to, but I mean, I'm just saying that it was early on in the season. It's like
Absolutely, but then again, that also brings up discussion. We need to make something for us to go off of.
I mean, that's like saying that Virginia Tech's better than Ohio State because they beat them earlier in the season. I mean, it was before.
Yeah.
It was before they really got things rolling. Teams change all the time, so I mean, you can sort of make the argument that it was an important win. It was a close win, and I don't think it happens again. To be honest with you, I
No,
don't
absolutely not.
I think they play again, and I don't think it happens.
Especially after that 59-0 win against Wisconsin, I'm completely.
Oh no,
convinced.
I'm saying I don't think.
Oh, you're talking about
Baylor, I don't think Baylor beats TCU again. I don't think that happens.
Yeah, you could. I could respect that. Yeah.
All right, and now the last topic of the day. I'm going to be talking a little bit about People versus Polls, and it's going to the Supreme Court. Basically, what this is an attempt by the state legislators to hold on to their right to gerrymander. Basically, they want to continue gerrymandering. It's profitable for both them and their party, and they enjoy doing it, so they want to keep doing it.
Now, for the average man like me who has no idea what gerrymandering is, what is that?
Gerrymandering is when a state legislation is governed by a certain party, and that party then cuts up the districts so that the party that they're affiliated with has an easier time winning those votes. And there was actually a really great quote from the Chicago Tribune saying, the off-stated complaint is that voters should choose their representatives shouldn't choose their voters. And I think that is absolutely true, and that's something that definitely speaks to this issue. Now, the big reason why this is going to the Supreme Court, Arizona and California, they had votes ballot initiatives to take the drawing of the district lines to an independent group, and the legislators don't like that. They took it to court. A federal court ruled against them, and the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear their appeal. I wonder why, because it benefits them to have a Senate that agrees with them. And basically, what they're arguing is that there's a line in the Constitution: the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators or representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislator thereof. And they insist that this power belongs entirely to the legislator and may not be exercised by anybody else. That is a quote from the Chicago Tribune. How do you guys feel about gerrymandering? I mean, it is really an issue, and I think that it's something. I mean, I think the Supreme Court, this is a decision that they need to get right. They already got Citizens United wrong, very wrong. That's not something. I mean, that's not a case. I mean, they already.
It's kind of screwed up. I mean, with elections, it's all about campaigning. But if you're just, putting in work just to, have the odds in your favor and
Exactly.
have it set up so you're gonna win, then what's the point of even campaigning?
If the Supreme Court lets this go through, between this and the Citizens United, they will have single-handedly ruined elections and made them all about who's in power now and who has the money.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And they will absolutely just single-handedly ruined elections in this country.
It's
And I mean,
not even a democracy anymore. The way it sounds, like honestly,
it's absolutely
that's what it's come to.
it's almost coming to an I hope I'm getting this right, an aristocracy,
Yes.
an
Aristocracy?
aristocracy,
Oh, okay.
where the rich class has all the power and
I
the
thought you were
ability to
gonna say
buy power.
Oligarchy?
Hmm?
Oligarchy, where like the government's pretty much controlled by a rich group of people.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
I think Sam has it. I think Sam.
I think
has
it's
it.
I think it's aristocracy, but
so.
aristocracy.
It is?
I'm sorry,
I got you.
and aristocracy. But I mean,
Remember, we're in high school.
yeah. Please remember that. What,
Senioritis kicked in early.
all right, please. If you're a college and you're viewing this,
Please
Don't
correct
judge
us.
us. Don't judge
please
us.
don't judge us.
Just politely call in and just tell us the correct
We're young and
pronunciation.
wild and free.
Young and wild and-
Furthermore, if you're a college and you're listening to this, please accept me. So I mean, come on. You guys haven't said anything. How do you
No,
guys feel
what I
about
was gonna
this?
say was, and because of what you just talked about, we talked. Sam and I actually talked about this like literally before the show started. If you look at the House of Representatives and the Senate,
Oh, yeah, I
strictly
mean-
Republican. Yeah,
Yeah, the
We have a
the
picture of
Democrats.
gerrymandering
The Democrats.
on the screen, apparently.
Yeah, it was actually the Democrats had about 1 million votes, more than Republicans in the midterms. But the Republicans won, the House and the Senate
yeah,
because
that's all the power right there.
I mean, if you look, the states that are red compared to blue and all that, I mean, all they have to do is shift it around a little bit into their favor, and that's
Yeah.
what happens.
And they have a lot of important states too. I saw Texas up there.
I mean, they don't have. But the thing is, they don't have important states. What they have is they have the Midwest. They have a majority of states, and that's very important in the Senate. And then somehow, I don't know how they won the House of Representatives.
I have a
too.
question with gerrymandering.
Okay.
Could this be used to influence like presidential elections as well?
I'm sure it can.
I don't think it. No, because the presidential elections are winner take all for states, for whole states. It's
Ah.
not split up into districts.
Okay.
But I mean, that's a whole
I
nother
think-
show
I think
about
an
why the
issue this
electoral
brings
is
up
that.
with gerrymandering, the slow elimination of the middle class is something that really worries me today, and I think it's not talked about enough because we forget how bad it is to not have a middle class. America has had a middle class for a long time now, and I think
And
with
at one
the middle
point, we didn't have a middle class.
we didn't have
we
middle
saw
class,
how that worked out.
and the last time one of the worst times we didn't have middle class was the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And it's just middle class is great for balancing our economy, great
Yeah.
for balancing our nation in general.
And great for
and-
actually spending money because we all know the
And all this is gonna do is a leap towards just that because we're gonna have the rich just completely controlling elections, completely controlling it's an illusion of democracy in a way. And I really it brings up an issue that we don't talk about enough.
I think what this also really speaks to is the American people not paying attention enough to Senate votes and state legislation votes. If you asked any one of us, me included, who our senator was, I'd say Bob Menendez, and you guys probably wouldn't say anything.
He's
I don't know.
he's from what? He's Hoboken, right?
No, I think he's
Oh.
Union City.
Yeah, you said you
But I don't know. I know
He
him
moved.
somehow. But I mean, our state legislators are very important, and none of us really know any of them either. I mean, it's like we need to, as a country, get more involved in politics, or else this will keep continuing. We can't just.
But for the reasons you just named, that's why a lot of us don't like to get involved in politics.
No, but,
And
But that's-
like,
but I mean-
honestly, I'm with Sam on this one. It's a dual
No, you should-
responsibility.
I mean,
like
you have
one,
you should
politician
know-
should be
you should know
responsible,
about,
and
you know,
two,
who's
you have to be
representing you in
responsible
your
as
state,
well.
obviously.
Yes, you need it. America needs more informed people. We need more people to be informed.
I'm with Sam
And-
on this one.
Yeah, no,
It's
he's
a two-way
right. He's
street.
right. But
you can't not vote. You can't be not involved and then complain when the Congress doesn't do anything.
I mean, you're right about that.
This
You're
is-
110% right. But the thing
You
is,
can't
people,
complain
that's what
if you're not
people
willing
do,
to
though.
do anything.
I
That's
swear,
what
I
people
swear, I
do.
wrote a paper on this on 5th grade. I always say politics should be a class in high school, at least in high school.
Well, I mean, I don't.
It's just somewhat
useful than
explain
health.
what each position does,
It
what
should-
each position can do, the power it has. Yeah, like I think it's important enough.
And
At the end of the day, politics rule our country in a way.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Absolutely. But I think the thing is, I mean, I don't know. I think the number was upwards of 1,000. No, it wasn't 1,000. I know. I'm almost positive it was more than 100. Number of state. No, maybe it was more than 1,000 state legislators who ran unopposed and got in, and they were elected because they ran unopposed. And I mean, that's just incredible. How can you have such low approval ratings for legislative bodies in our country, and then having not, and
they get elected
nobody
anyways.
nobody runs against them, or in the Senate nobody really cares to look at it, and
It also
it's
gives them in a
almost-
way unofficial power, because it's like nobody's running against you. You have
exactly
every
nobody's
candidate has
holding your
flaws.
feet. Nobody's holding your feet to the fire, and making you do the right thing.
Every candidate has flaws, and if you don't have any opposal, you're not going to have any reason to fix yourself, any reason to fix yourself for the better for the
Exactly.
people. And
Who
it's-
cares about the people if the people don't care about you?
Exactly.
And sad to say, our generation, like, again, we are people who actually look things up about
You're
politics.
18. Have you registered to vote?
No,
Why not?
not yet anyway.
So you can't complain.
No, it'll happen.
You cannot complain about
It'll
politics
happen.
until you register. I
I'm
want
not
you to register
complaining about
today.
politics. I'm not complaining.
I
I
want you
just turned
registered
18.
today.
I just turned 18.
turned
About a
18 in
month ago.
October.
Okay.
2 months ago, actually.
Rich, when you turn 18,
October.
because people forget Richie's birthday is literally
It's tomorrow.
no,
Tomorrow.
3 days, 3 days from now.
The 10th. I'm sorry. I thought today was the 9th. 11th?
That's
And Richie,
Oh, yeah.
Rich, I
That's
know
4
Richie.
days.
Richie's gonna register to vote, but just not yet.
that's 4 days,
No,
Mohammed.
but I mean seriously, you have a driver's license.
Oh, it's 8 today. That's right.
I made the same mistake.
I thought today was the 10th. That's why I said tomorrow.
I thought today was.
Oh, and I'm the one that can't keep track of dates.
No, but
huh?
seriously, if you're 18 and I know you have a driver's license because you told me so many times.
And you still gotta
You're
get into a
18. You
car.
have a driver's license. Why not go register to vote?
I will.
Why not?
When?
I will.
And you should have voted in the midterm elections.
I will, man. I
You
will.
missed an election already. I mean, I'm
I'll
very
vote.
serious. You really
I will.
need to,
Yo, trust. I'm serious too. I will vote.
because that is the awful thing about our generation, that we let the older generation take over politics, and even though these are really issues that we have the most interest in. I mean,
And for a lot of these things, they're affecting us directly too. So might as well just try to change it,
Moral of the story: go vote, kids.
yeah.
kids.
All right, this has been Wake Up High Tech. I'm Sam the Man. That's Mom and the Magnet,
Yeah.
Ratchet Richie, and Crazy Carlos. Good night.
Good night.
That's right,
Yo.
don't let the big
Good
bugs bite.
morning. We need the music first.